Hello everyone, it's Paula, and today we're going to continue with the ephemera for the Nutcracker. Now, I have just thrown some things together, that I thought might be fun, and we didn't get them all finished in the last video, so I thought we would work on that. So let's do the library pocket first, but let me say again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope after you watch the video, you'll enjoy it and subscribe. Like the video, and that will let YouTube know what's going on with me. And if you're new to my channel, thank you. And to all my die hard. I don't even know how it goes. All my die hard subbies, I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. Thank you. All right, let's get busy. All right, so here's the library pocket, and of course none of this stuff is inked, which is kind of a bummer, but you do what you got to do, right? So I'm just gonna do a quick around the edges. I don't want the ink to be super dark on most of this stuff, and because it's snowy and snowflakes, or it has been so far. It doesn't have to be, because it is the Nutcracker. So yeah, I'm going to use glue stick. This is a tissue that was just left over from a package I had gotten from somebody. I think it was a subby. One of you guys sent me something a while back, and it was wrapped in this sweet tissue, and I don't throw anything away. So we're gonna put this on the front here. I just thought the color would go with kind of the color theme that's going on in the book. So here with the little library card, I just kind of used a decorative punch from Creative Memories on the edge. I just thought, let's do something different. And I tried to cut out things that are just take up time. And so here's how this little guy's going to go in here. Real simple. Now we're going to ink up this little Nutcracker dude. And he is made out of like a cardboard. So he must have been an ephemera piece once upon a time. So I'm going to go just below. Somebody is ringing the doorbell. All right, now let me put that right there just to make sure it doesn't come off. And I tried not to. I'll put it this way. What in the world is that? That is glue that is coming off the back. Okay, hopefully I did not put the glue too high up, so he can be here and not disturb anybody. Have to excuse my dirty fingers. That's how it is when we craft, isn't it? They're a constant. So I want to see if I did the back without getting glue. I meant to, and I did. Okay, good. It's a little on the messy side there for a second. I thought maybe he was not going to work, but there he is. And he works perfect right there. See, he doesn't interfere with sticking to anything. Okay, so I'm going to take my glue that I have right here, because this page is a real mess. So let's just fold it over and let it become a tag. We're going to have some collaging time after the first of the year. It's just is real time consuming, and I know there's a lot of people that do it, and I just don't want to bore you guys, you know, if you're seeing it on other channels. So there we go. It kind of got to where it was the thing, and everybody is doing the thing. So this is just a little tag that worked with the color scheme of this paper. You know, it has a little bit of red in it. So, and I may do something as far as the grommet goes at some point, but this is going to go in the front of your book. So, yeah, and I think it'll look cute once it's in and ready to go. All right, so number 1 done. Now I took an envelope a while back. This was in my stash, and it's kind of got a glittery look to it, and it's blue. And I thought this is the perfect book to use it in, right? So it's got a little half moon here, and then it's now a pocket on the front. So what we need to do is just give it a little bit of ink, not too much. Go ahead and ink your little half moon so you know where to put things. So it has a pocket at the end of the tag, and then, or at the end of the envelope, I guess I should say. It's never been a tag. It has a place for a tag. Man, I have 50 things going on in my brain. Do you guys ever do that where you're just like crazy for a moment? Okay, so here's the little girl from the Nutcracker. Here are some music sheets. Here is a tag we're going to make. So I was trying to think, how do we want to do her? Do we want to do it like this and cover up that text at the top? Or, I can't remember how I had planned on doing her. I thought I just didn't want any, I think on the front, I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to put a music sheet along the top there. And this is old music sheet. So it's, this is our little bit of collaging today. It's old music sheet, so it will tear really easy. And I'm going to put the other piece on the back. So you know it's old. It just tore a little bit when it still has the Scotch tape from who knows when on it, right? That's when you know it's old. Okay, here we go. We're going to cover up that little bit of text. And this is a perfect place to journal on the back here. And I got to get that off my finger. I tore a little hole in this, so maybe I'll have to cover that with something. We'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and trim anything hanging over the edge, so we can get going on this. Okay, so now we have this little piece of paper that has little nutcrackers and snowflakes and flowers and bows and all the cuteness from the Nutcracker. When I see a Nutcracker book, I grab it. I love doing these books. But personally, don't fall off your chair. I have never been into the ballet. So I have never been to the Nutcracker. I've read the little story here, but it has never really been my thing. But I guess it's been a couple years now. My husband took my 2 granddaughters. They were about 10. It's been a little bit ago. So we thought they need to see the Nutcracker. I said, they need to see it. I've never seen it, and I'm not interested in seeing it, but I've heard it's wonderful. Well, the youngest of the 2, who is just really 2 months younger, one wore a Santa hat, one wore a Santa dress. They were just adorable. But, and they, Papa dressed up and took them, just him. And he's a good Papa. That just shows you the kind of good things he does. But anyway, so the first one, the younger of the 2, she was bored in the first 30 minutes. She was like, oh, what's this? Is it ever going to change? Is it just dancing? Is it, all the questions that kids ask? And my husband said, no, this is pretty much, how it's going to be right here. Pop on board. Of course, it's longer than normal. Little play or ballet. It's ballet. Anyway, so he said she was asleep in 10 minutes. She was out like a light. She was not interested in those expensive tickets. And that was okay. Wasn't her thing, And then the other one, she was wrestling to stay awake. My husband said, I was bored out of my mind. But, he would be because he's a guy. Guys aren't into the Nutcracker, right? So I'm going to put her on there like that. I think she's cute. I think that's perfect. And we'll get her on there. But anyway, they both fell asleep. And then before it was over with, the other one fell asleep toward the end. And my husband said, I almost fell asleep. But he stayed, and, he's the kind of guy, he's not getting up and walking out. I don't care. He's not going to make a scene. So I'm sure there were people that did get up and walk out, if it was their first time. I think if you grew up around it, if you grew up like going to the ballet and all that stuff, it might be a little different. But when you're a kid and you've never been to a ballet, it would be boring, And they wouldn't have known really how do I put it? They wouldn't have really known how to even read the story or know the story, and be able to interpret it. But anyway, I think the characters are cute. I think the book is cute. I've read the book. The little golden book, that is. I made that sound all. I read the book. But anyway, it's not my thing either. But I sure love making the book. Okay. So there we go. And on the other side here, I don't like that being torn right there. But I want to put some tea stained, a little bit of tea stained paper back there. And let me see, maybe I'll tear this and put it right there. Oh, where is my tear tool? There it is, right there. Got to have a little tear going on, right? So let's just tear it here. And then tear it there. Just a little. And yeah, because most of this you can actually journal on. So why tear it all up, right? Why cover it all up? That's what I'm saying. So we're going to put that right there. There we go. All right, I just didn't want to spend a lot of collaging time on camera because I think everybody knows how to do that. So there is how this is turning out. I'm going to ink it on this side too, and then I'll stitch around it when I'm not on camera. And when I do the flip through, just watch for the finished product. I try to do them all when I'm here, but you know how that is. Okay, so she will go in here, and that's why I was able to place her, you know, down lower. Okay, now let me move this trash out of the way. Down here, I'm trying to decide if I want music sheet. I don't want this. I would rather have music sheet along the bottom, wouldn't you? I mean, after all, it's a ballet and there's music. Now, no, this is not, how do I put it? This is not music from the ballet. It's music from a long time ago. And I don't think there was even a name on this paper. But I know that I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. So we want another piece of tape. I love it when it shows its age. Okay, so then we're going to put this right here, and I'm going to tear just slightly off of there. Okay, perfect. And I'm just really using this as a background because, you know, I want to put something over it. I have people who have told me that this glue will stay on for a long, long time. Oh, great. It tore my little piece of music. Dang it. Well, that's all right. I'll just figure out how to put it back on. It's just a little tiny piece right there, and it will be fine. All right, now I want to put this title on here because I just do. I like it. I like that it's trimmed in this little gold, but I'm trying to kind of hit the white with some brown a little bit. Now, this is the last thing on this little project that I'm going to add glue stick to. And it is a sticky mess on that paper. We'll have to take care of that. I have a hard time believing that it will last forever, but it does. Okay, so we went last night and saw Noah at the Sight and Sound Theater in Branson, and we had fun. It was good, you guys. Oh my gosh, the animals were insane. The number of animals that was on that stage. You know, they have two big side stages. Part of the arc, inside of the arc, was on the sides. But then the other part was took up the whole stage. And it was extremely good. Told the whole story. And it was just, I don't know how to describe it, but everything I've seen there has been very good. My favorite one that they have shown there is Jonah in the Well. And actually, they just do one titles like Jonah, Ruth, Moses. We've seen Moses. We've seen Jonah and Noah. What was the other? I think those are the 3 we've seen. But next year, it will be Jesus. And I am looking forward to that. And they just do incredible things with a big giant stage. And they have live out animals. And how they get those animals to do what they do, I have no idea. So there we go. We do have another place for a tag back here, but I'll make that later. I don't want to bore you guys to death. All right, now, let's see. I want to make this envelope and put this journaling card in this envelope. Now, the first thing we got to do is ink up this. Yes, I fussy cut these little scallops. Yes, I did. It was a big square card, and I didn't want anything that big. So I just cut out the characters. What can I say? This is a tea-stained envelope, and this is going to go in the book. Okay, do the back here. I probably will end up doing something on this flap. You know, I'll end up decorating it. This is the journaling card that is going to go inside the envelope. All right, let's cover that up for now. Now, we'll go ahead and put this inside the envelope. Oh, but we first need to glue the envelope. Whenever you tea stain, this is usually what happens, is the envelope will come apart because of the water from the tea. So you just want to make sure everything is glued back by the time you use the envelope. And usually I don't do that until, and look what I did. I went way too high. I was talking and not thinking. Oh my goodness. What can I say? Story of my life right here. We're going to let this dry a little bit, and then I'm going to go over it with something to dry it and clean it up. And I'm going to get it clean, wipey for the next project. We'll come back to this one after that dries. And, yeah, because I messed up. But it probably will be fine. But see, this will be sticky. But because I wet it, because there was a lot on it, I have to wait for it to dry now before I can use any kind of cleaner or anything. So we're going to let that dry. We're going to put this to the side for now, and we'll come back. Okay, now we're going to do another bag. I went to thinking that I really liked how the other bag went. So I did Christmas ones last year, and I knew I had planned on doing the Nutcracker this year. And so I went ahead and decoupaged a Nutcracker tag. I'll get it out in a minute, guys. I'm sorry. Slow today. My brain is slow. So I'm going to use gold in this. I was looking to see if I had, let me see what's on this stack over here. I have some gold, just gold over here. It's kind of a yellow gold, but it has some nice glitter on it. Now, it has never been used, so I got to open this up. You know how that is. Come off of there. Okay. Oh, surprised that came off that easy, honestly. All right. Now, what we need to do is cut off enough here to put in the Nutcracker one. Maybe, let's just do it like this. See if we can do it without tearing it up. You know, some of this delicate ribbon, this is actual ribbon, I think. At least it appears to be. I like to do some of them different. My favorite way to do it is just to tie them on because they just come apart. But this time I'm going to add some glue. Okay. So, got to kind of be careful not to yank the hole out of your let's see if I can get this to go down. This is the reason when you use glittery glue that you have to be prepared to glue it down, because it will not stay as well. But it will now, because I just filled it, the inside of this knot, with glue. So he's done. We're going to set him to the side for a moment and let him dry while we work on the bag. Now the bag has gold polka dots, and I decided that was close enough to Christmassy, and I like the whole gold and silver thing, and I don't mind mixing them in books. Just so you know, I don't have a problem with that. Now we're going to use on this one, well, let's go ahead and do this too while we're on it. Just going to do the sides. Okay. Now we are going to use a doily on this one because why not, right? And I'm thinking I want to leave the gold showing there on the bottom. And we're just going to do this similar to how we did the other, except that little gold hole needs to be poked out because we're going to put some gold inside that tag and the gold edging. Trying to get my crocodile down there as close to center as I can, right there. Now I have some smaller ribbon over here that's gold. Okay. Whoopsie. Now, this time, I think I'll do it the same way. Let's see if I can do it the same way. That way they match, right? Let's see. And this is much thinner, so hopefully it will work even better. You can feel a little bit of wire in this. Okay, now you want to make these even. Alrighty. Again, you have to work to get it to work. Does that make sense? Okay, this has to go in more. That's the problem. And it's got all this glitter and stuff on it, so it's not, and it's trying to tear. So I think we've done enough on that one, don't you? Let's put a little bit of glue under there. and hope that it holds nicely for us. And it will. Now, this is going to be on the front, so I don't want it to be crazy long, you know. So, my son-in-law is coming to just have some time to work on my bench that goes with my table. I think I told you guys he was building me a farmhouse table. Yeah. So he has, and it's beautiful. And it's 10 foot long. So I have always wanted a house big enough, or a dining room, not a house, a dining room big enough that my my family could all eat at one table. And there's 11 of us, and it will seat 12. So we're excited about that. Plus, I'm going to do it, decorate it like a farmhouse kitchen, something you would have seen on Pinterest or something. Something like that. Where you use the black and white chalkboard-like framed things, and you put different verses or quotes on the items. So, isn't that cute? Now, if we wanted to, it would take up space in the book, so I'm not. You could put some gems on here, you know. And then we'll put our little guy in here, our little decoupage. And he's peeking out over the top. And we're going to trim this one on the top a little bit because we don't want it to not, we don't want it sticking out of the book, is basically what I'm saying. Okay, so this is going to be a little different. This is going to go in our belly band, and what I thought we'd do, here's the paper, okay, and I'm going to flip it over, and no, I need this to be on here like this, right? Now, I'm not going to glue that with, I'm not going to glue it with my glue stick because I feel like when you do it with something like this, it ends up being stiffer. Does that make sense? You can't really, it's not as flexible, I think. And I'm probably wrong, but I feel like it's not as flexible. The times that I've done it, I'll put it that way. All right. Make sure your little corners are where you can make sure the paper will adhere nicely. Now we're going to flip this over. It will be white on the back. And I'm going to set this down as far as I can. There we go. Now, while this is drying for a second, and I mean a second, I'm going to let it dry just for a second. We're going to ink these little images. And these little images were part of that clip art. So they were pretty easy little images. So I decided, well, that ought to work. That ought to work just fine. Let's see if we can put a little ink down the inside. There we go. And now we've got the Christmas tree here. And we'll do just maybe the top branches. All right, and then we got a couple little packages, which were just little extra things. All right, now I want to find a star to put on the top. That's going to be harder than you think. I'm looking here. Give me just a second. You never know when you're going to find one. You know, it's kind of like, if you get lucky, you'll run upon a star. That's just how it is. And sometimes that doesn't happen. And you just have to look out. I just see this has a bunch of little things in it. I thought maybe there was a star. No. There's not. No. Bummer. I have a bunch of ephemera over here next to me. But ideally, I should have got that out ahead of time, and I forgot. Sorry, guys. But we'll work with what we got. Now, we're going to cut this out real quick. And I'm not going to worry about being too fussy. I just want to get around the corners the best I can. This, I will stitch this off camera, but if I can, I may have to, no, this isn't the, I'll have to change the thread to stitch this one, I think. Now, I'm waiting to get across this right here to do this. Sometimes it's hard to get in those corners, so I'm going just like that. And down this side here. Okay. Whoops. It's not as easy as it looks sometimes. If you're trying not to cut anything off that you just glued to, like a corner or something, which I did go up on it a little bit just then. That's why it was being difficult. I didn't stay off of it. I got up on the tag portion that I had cut out and made. Get this little corner. Now I'm sure there'll be corners to clean up on the other side. Now, yeah, like right there. So basically, what I was doing was covering one side of the index card, or the similar to an index card. And now we need to ink it. And so what I'm going to do is get in that corner right there where I feel like I made a little boo-boo. I didn't, really. It just wasn't a perfect cut. So, when I have these little index thingies, sometimes I like to put something up on the label part here. You can put a label and leave it blank, or you can put some kind of Christmas saying or something. Now, the back is pretty much inked itself, it looks like. And this is where you would journal here on the back. I like to make these to put under belly bands because it's hard to know what to put under those belly bands, right? And so I like to be sure. I'm trying to get the trash out of here. Now this is the background and that we're going to put this on because it was the calmest background I had. And, you know, we don't really have, this is not a tree that has the stump or the, the stump of the tree. So, I'm going to kind of slide him in between and around, and Or I can just put him over it. I might just put him over it. Just like that. And then we have a couple little packages. And I don't know where the other package went. There it is. I just thought we could like put on here around the bottom. Just like that. Now, we'll come up with some kind of star because I won't like it if we don't have a star on the tree, right? Has to be an angel or a star. We have a crown. Depends on what we're putting up that year. If we're putting up our white tree, we will have a crown. And if we're putting up the other tree, and sometimes I use the white for the other one is more like a cabin feel of a tree. It's green with, oh, like not acorns, but pine cones. I'll get it right here in a minute. It has some pine cones on it. So it's a really cute little tree for like cabins and stuff like that. That was really sticky for some reason. So we know that we have to have it straight, right? And then we know that we have to have room for the, it appears to be leaning a little bit. So I'm going to move it. And it's going to hang off a little bit. But that's okay. I'll trim that off. You really want to get those branches down while your glue is wet, especially if you're using a, this thing is super sticky. So I'm going to close this up and get another one. Okay. Okay. Now, let's put our little nutcracker on there. I remember as a little girl, this tells you I did not know what nutcrackers were. These things used to scare me when I was a little girl. I never knew that it was, you know, part of the ballet stuff. But they used to scare me just a little bit. I was crazy, what can I say? Okay, so he doesn't have to be right up under the tree. But now, let's see. Let's put that one there. One more little package. Come on. There you go. Now, I do have some words that are Christmas words. Let me close this up because it's looking pretty nasty. This is Darth Vader. This is a Star Wars book that I'm tearing from. It's an old book. Okay, that's why the print's so small. Or large, I mean. So I just thought we'd look and see if there's anything in here. There's a holly jolly. Who's kissing Santa? I want something that's small enough to go in that spot. Naughty or nice. Sleigh bells. I don't think I'm seeing anything that has to do with Nutcracker. There's a season's greetings. Visions of sugar plums. That would be good, huh? Maybe. I like that. I'll put it that way. I like that. But I'm not really sure. How about joy to the world? I like something that's like, how about the Grinch? This is my favorite, Oh Holy Night. So I'm going to think on those. And of course, I'm going to have to operate on them. But, yeah. So, they'll not be, that won't be decided at this moment. So, I will stitch around this at some point. But there you go. Oh, and we got to find a star at some point. I keep thinking that I have one right here. And, yeah, I have this box. Let's see if I can get it without breaking an arm. I have this box. That is huge, full of scraps. You know how you get, you know how you have like, look, here's another package. We're not using that because it didn't go with it. And it looks different. I'm looking for a star in this Holiday Wishes. I do like that on there. So, we will... Oh, here's a star. It's not really the kind of star you think of for that. But... anyway, I want to let's see, where'd it go? I want to finish it up so we can be done with this one. But I need to dig a little bit more. But anyway, so we've got that done, and I'll hang on to these just in case. Okay, let me move that down. Okay, now we've got a few more things. We're going to do one more thing. I'm looking at the time, and I'll show you some sneak peeks of the other things. Like, this is an envelope. This is simple. It's folded in half. And this is going to be the front right here. And then you're going to flip it. Well, here, let me grab. It's got 2 square journaling cards to journal on inside. Very simple, very no big deal. Here's another envelope. Going to have this mouse. I forget what he's called. And then this is a funny one. Aren't they funny, those 2 dogs? And then I'm just going to do a Nutcracker tag if I have time. Some of this stuff I may not need, so I'm kind of playing it by ear. So let's finish this little girl, because I promised we'd get back to her, right? So let me get over here, back where I belong. Okay. So I want the flap to be this direction. I want this to go inside. Let's see how this dried up. It dried up fine. Perfect. Don't even have to do anything. There's the journaling card. So I want this to glue down here because I like the background. Now we may do some other things with her, but let's glue the glue onto the envelope this time because that's really big and I don't want to, you know. And yeah, there we go. I think that'll be easier than trying to glue it onto the tissue. But you have to remember that got a little bit of glue around the outside here. Now, this is not perfectly straight. It's not about it being perfect, but it's close enough, right? And so you have to be careful, like it's trying to tear on me right there. Now, I love this old paper. It looks so old. Now, I'm thinking, don't we want something else behind her? But I really like it like that. Sometimes simple is the best, right? I'm sure I have some words that go with this story. So I'm not going to add anything I don't have to add, you know. So let's put her on first. And I think she says it all. I mean, you know, she looks cute. Yeah, there she goes. She's made for that paper. I like her on here. And I like that it's just real simple. Not much else going on. And I think since I have the mouse one, we'll go ahead and do him real quick. I do have to throw some ink on here. His paper behind him is not near as big as the paper behind that one. Now you're probably thinking, why are we using that old grungy paper? Well, I like grungy, but I think it was tea stained by, I had someone tea stain it for me. I've got someone doing tea staining for me now, so my tea staining is super light because I give out so fast when I do that sort of thing, and the bending over just kills my back. So I don't know how much tea staining I can get done anymore. Okay, then he's going to go on here. Maybe we should do him like this. It's not really perfect, but... And then... I bet this one needs glued together too. What do you bet? Yep. And when you see a little tear on a tea stained paper, that's usually because it's stuck. And it's stuck because of the glue on the envelope. But they don't always come off. They'll either stick or they'll tear or they won't glue at all. It's weird. It's hard to know. Yeah, see, look at that. It's stuck perfect. So funny. Now, I know I have a lot of journaling cards, so I'm not going to worry with getting the journaling card out right now for this little guy. He'll be in the second signature. She'll be in the first. And I want to center that and tear the edge. Got it pretty centered. But I don't want it sticking out on the sides there. Okay. I just threw 2 pieces of trash in my Christmas box over here. Crazy. Okay, so this little guy is going to, I'm going to glue this down with some paper glue. Perfect. Maybe I had that the other way. I'm trying to figure out how I had it on here. Because I know this was more, this was straighter. That's good enough. I forgot to tear the little short ends. So we'll just flip them over for now. Excuse me. Trying to make sure we can get this one done before the video runs out. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing we did with her. Excuse me, guys. All of a sudden, I decide to cough. Come off of there, mouse. I know he has a name. I just can't remember it. He's not perfectly center, but he looks cute. I like it better than just having him just laying on there, you know. And I'll add some little things as I come up on them. And that'll be fun. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if so, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.